I would be remiss not to ask you about your old gig at Coursera. I just think it's so fascinating. Obviously, I think there's so many different ways that LLMs and these latest models can be used on the education side. I'm curious if you were still in that space, how you'd be thinking about these models and what you might be building.
So actually, I still am in that space, although not at Coursera. In the midst of the pandemic, my husband and I, when our two daughters, who were both then in high school, were shoved into Zoom school, and we saw what that experience looked like, we realized that the teaching and learning experience that one gets online is just not a very engaging one. And so that led us to actually found a company which is called Engagely, which is in the
Yeah.
education space. It's very different from Coursera. It's not kind of like a large play content platform. It's really much more about the engagement in a teaching and learning environment, and actually engagement more broadly, because you can also think of it as a collaboration platform. And it has human elements, such as, interacting with other students in meaningful ways that, these large online platforms just don't do, interacting with the instructor in meaningful ways, providing an instructor with data on student success metrics and student engagement, so that they can do targeted interventions on the students that need the help, versus having just a blank sea of faces on Zoom, or for that matter, honestly, in a large auditorium is not any better.
Yeah.
And like knowing where to pay attention and try and bring students back into a successful outcome. So that, I think, is the core vision behind that platform. And now with the large language models, you can start to think about an AI enabled form of engagement. And each of those things that I mentioned lends itself to an AI enhancement, whether it's as students engage with the material, you could create sort of AI generated tutors or AI enabled tutors that can help answer questions and point them towards course materials. You could help the instructor create better course materials, not having it be as much work to do course design. You could help an instructor create meaningful, personalized interventions with students in a way that still has that instructor voice, but you don't have to write a full, half-page email personalized to every student from scratch, which is just time prohibitive in large classes. So I think there's lots of ways in which that could be woven into the education technology stack, and that is certainly the future of education, especially the online education.